In the shadows of the night, when the world turns dark, I'm the one who lights the way, like a beacon that won't spark. Through the storm, in the shadows of the night, when the world turns dark, I'm the one who lights the way, like a beacon that won't spark. Through the storms of life, I hold you tight, believing in you until the very end of sight. In every tear, in every laugh, I'm there to catch you. Through the pain, through the joy, I'm right by your side without a doubt. I see you, more than just a shadow in the light. Open your heart's door and let love start to ignite. I see you standing tall, even when you fall. And I see you rising up, stronger than before, never small. When the world tells you to give up and you feel lost, I'm the voice that whispers, keep pushing, don't be crossed. In the quiet moments, when your spirit feels so low, I'm the one who lifts you up, like a gentle healing glow. And the night feels endless and you can't see the dawn, I'll be your whisper, guiding you along. With every heartbeat, I'll remind you of your strength. Together we'll rise up, going any length. So take my hand, let the worries fade away. In this dance of life, we'll find our way through every shadow. Love will light the path. Side by side, we'll conquer all that life has. I see you, more than just a reflection in the mirror. Open your heart's door and let love start to grow. I see you standing strong, even when you fall. And I see you rising up, stronger than before, never small. I see you, more than just a gleam in the night. Open your heart's door and let love start to ignite. I see you standing tall, even when you fall. And I see you rising up, stronger than before, never small.
Do you remember when Saturday morning was the best part of your life?
Bare feet on a cold wood floor, sunlight sneaking through the door. House so quiet, holding still, like the world forgot its will. Tiptoe past that creaky stair, old TV glow already there. Static fades and colors rise, little worlds before my eyes. No place to go, no need to run, just me and the rising sun. Saturday morning, back in the day, cartoons and seal drift away. No phones, no stress, just living life free. Just a kid, TV, and a dream. but I was gone where the story flows, like tires rolling down the street. Sun on my face, freedom underneath. Friends will call and off we fly, chasing clouds in a painted sky. No screens in our hands, just open skies. We were kings in our own young lives. Saturday morning, back in the day, cartoons and cereal, drift away. No phones, no stress, just living life free. Just a kid, TV, and a dream to be. Saturday morning, oh, where'd it go? We didn't know what we didn't know. Those were the days, simple and true. Saturday morning, me and you. Now the years roll fast, they don't slow down. Life got heavy, lost that sound, but somewhere deep it still remains. In quiet light and window panes, I close my eyes and I can see that little kid still lives in me. Saturday morning, back in the day, cartoons and cereal, drift away. No phones, no stress, just living life free. Just a kid, TV, and a dream to be. Saturday morning, don't let it go. Hold on tight to what we know. Those were the days, simple and true. Saturday morning, me and you. Saturday morning, back in the day, yeah, we drift away. And the world got strange, everybody hollering, everybody complaining. But over on the live stream right about 8, a message starts flying that nobody hates. Brother Don jumps in with a grin so wide, just be cool, flashing on the chat box side. He types real slow like a man with a plan. I think it's time for a safety meeting, man. For a safety meeting, safety meeting. Gather round friends, let the good times begin. A little laughter, a little truth, a little fellowship rolling through. Brother Don smiling, Fred's making jokes, Hawks on the microphone visiting folks. We ain't running from life, we're just setting the tone at the safety meeting with the family at home. Now Brother Ganja Fred comes strolling in, sounding like he walked out of London again. Says, cheers mates, hope you're all doing alright. I brought enough good vibes to last all night. He'll drop one-liner after one-liner fast, half the chat laughing till they're crying at last. And every time Hawk starts getting too deep, Fred says, easy there mate, don't wake the sheep. For a safety meeting, safety meeting. Everybody gather when the signal gets sent. No anger, no drama, no fuss, no fight, just good-hearted folks on a Wednesday night. Brother Don steady, Fred's cracking wise. Hawk's got another crazy theory to analyze. And somehow by midnight we're all still gone down 20 rabbit holes and carrying on. Then Hawk fires up with his Mountain View, 26 shepherds making sure he's true, talking faith, freedom, truth, and grace, with a white shepherd lying right by his place. He says, welcome friends, pull up a chair, leave your worries and your burdens there. Tonight we're gonna laugh, learn, and see what kind of seed become tomorrow's trees. Brother Don says, brother, that's deep. Fred says, I still think you're waking sheep. The whole chat explodes with laughing emojis everywhere. Somebody's dog starts barking at the air. The moderator surrenders, the timeline bends. Nobody remembers how the story begins, but everybody knows when the meeting is through, they spent the whole night hanging with good people and true. Final safety meeting, safety meeting. Here's to the friends we've never met, the kind that show up and never forget. To Brother Don and his Just Be Cool, to Fred from across the pond breaking every rule, to Hawk on the mountain sowing mustard seeds, trying to remind folks what this old world needs. A little laughter, a little faith, a little kindness, a little grace. And if you hear somebody calling for a safety meeting tonight, just pull up a chair and everything will be alright. Brother Don, you there? Just be cool. Fred? Cheers, mate. Hawk. Welcome home, friends. Home safety meeting. The down, down.
Today, before we discuss Freedom 250, before we talk about the state of our nation, before we dive into the headlines of the day, I want to take a few minutes to remember an event that changed the course of human history. 82 years ago, on June 6, 1944, the eyes of the world were fixed on a narrow stretch of coastline in Normandy, France. What happened there would become known simply as D-Day. It was the largest amphibious invasion in military history. More than 156,000 Allied troops crossed the English Channel and stormed the beaches of Nazi-occupied Europe in a desperate attempt to break the grip of tyranny and begin the liberation of a continent. But when we talk about D-Day, it's easy to get lost in the numbers. We hear about thousands of ships, thousands of aircraft, tens of thousands of soldiers. Yet D-Day was not won by numbers. It was won by individual men, young men, farm boys from Iowa, coal miners from Pennsylvania, factory workers from Michigan, ranch hands from Texas, dock workers from New York, small town sons from every corner of America who answered a call far greater than themselves. Many of them were barely out of high school. Some never even graduated. They lied about their age so that they could serve this great country. Many had never traveled more than a few miles from home. Most of them have never seen combat. Yet on that morning, they climbed down cargo nets into landing craft, crossed a rough and uncertain sea, and headed towards a shoreline covered with machine guns, artillery, mines, and an awaiting death. They knew what awaited them. They knew many of them would never return. And still, they went. Think about that for a minute. Imagine sitting in one of those landing craft, the steel walls rattling around you, the smell of diesel fuel and seawater, the sounds of artillery in the distance, the realization that in just a few minutes the ramp would drop. Everything you had ever known would be behind you. Everything ahead of you was uncertainty. Some men prayed, some wrote letters. Some thought about their wives and sweethearts, mothers, fathers, brothers, and sisters looking down upon the pictures that would soon be tucked into their pockets as that ramp came down. Some simply sat in silence. But when that ramp dropped, they stepped forward, not because they were fearless, but because courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is moving forward despite it. The beaches of Normandy would become places of unimaginable sacrifice. Omaha, Utah, Gold, Juneau, Sword. Names forever etched into history. Thousands fell that day. Many would never see another sunrise. Many would never return home to build families, start businesses, raise children, or even just grow old. Their futures ended on those beaches. But because of their sacrifice, our futures continued. That is the true legacy of D-Day. The men who stormed those beaches were not fighting for fame. They were not fighting for followers. They were not fighting for wealth. They were not fighting because freedom itself was under assault. They understood that everything, that every generation, their freedom was under assault. And that every generation in the future must remember freedom is never free. Someone always pays the price. Sometimes that price is paid in sweat, sometimes in hardship, sometimes in years of sacrifice, and sometimes it's paid in blood. The young Americans, the British, Canadians, and Allied forces who landed in Normandy paid that price willingly because they believed future generations deserved to live in liberty rather than tyranny. Today, a lot of us enjoy freedoms so common that we rarely think about them. The freedom to speak our minds, the freedom to worship God according to our conscience, a freedom to assemble, a freedom to vote, a freedom to raise families according to our values, the freedom to pursue our dreams. Those freedoms did not appear by accident. They were secured by generations of Americans willing to stand when history called upon them. And few moments demonstrate more clearly than D-Day. As we approach America's 250th birthday, I believe it's important that we remember not only the founding of this nation, but also those who preserved it. The men of Normandy were part of a long line of Americans stretching from Lexington and Concord, Gettysburg to Normandy, to every battlefield where liberty was defended. Their story is our story. Their sacrifice is part of our inheritance. And their courage remains an example for every generation that follows. Most of those D-Day veterans are gone now. The ranks grow smaller every year. Soon, there won't be any left to tell their stories firsthand. That places a responsibility upon each and every one of us. We must become the storytellers. We must become the keepers of memory. We must ensure that future generations understand that those young men did and why it mattered. Because a nation that forgets its heroes eventually forgets the values those heroes defended. So today, here on Hawk's Mustard Seeds, we honor those warriors. We honor the men who crossed the channel. We honor the men who climbed the cliffs. We honored the men who never came home. And we honor the veterans who survived and carried those memories for the rest of their lives. To every World War II veteran, past and present, known and unknown, thank you. Thank you for your courage. Thank you for your sacrifice. Thank you for the freedom we enjoy today. The eyes of the world were upon you then. And tonight, with grateful hearts, we remember you still. God bless our veterans. God bless the United States of America. And may we never forget the price of freedom.
June morning on a restless sea, a young man stared toward destiny. Letters folded in their hands, praying hard as they approached the sand. Some were farmers, some were sons, some had barely just begun. But when their nation called their name, they answered all the same. The sky was dark with fear and smoke, the ocean thundered as dawn broke, and every heartbeat carried one prayer. The eyes of the world were upon them as they charged into the storm, into the fire, into the fight, where history would be born. They stood for those who'd come tomorrow, though many would not see the dawn. And we live free because they carried the weight of freedom on. The cliff stood tall above the shore, machine guns roared and cannons tore. Yet through the chaos and the pain, they kept advancing just the same. Brothers fell beside their friends, some would never rise again. But courage walked those beaches wide and changed the course of time. The cost was written in the sand by ordinary, extraordinary men who gave the world a fighting chance. The eyes of the world were upon them as they charged into the storm, into the fire, into the fight, where history would be born. They stood for those who'd come tomorrow, though many would not see the dawn. And we live free because they carry the weight of freedom on. Now across the stand where heroes sleep, row after row beside the sea, white against the Norman sky, a testament that freedom has a price. And every generation born, every child who greets the morn, owes a debt beyond all measure to those who answered freedom's call. The eyes of the world were upon them, and still their legacy remains in every flag, in every prayer, in every life they've changed. Today we honor their memory and thank them for the path they paved. For we still walk in freedom's light because the brave stood brave. On June 6, 1944, they stepped into history. Some came home. Many did not. The eyes of the world were upon them then. And today, we remember. May we never forget their courage. May we never forget their sacrifice. May we never forget the price of freedom. Confiamos.
Hi. It's a busy morning. Had a lot of work to do. Got it done. Came in, set this up, got that song finished. I started on that at about 2 o'clock this morning after tuning in to Amazon Prime, one of the Discover programs in regards to World War II. I was thinking about all the World War II vets that I had the opportunity to meet in my lifetime. Between my time in the service and my association with the American Legion, VFW. I always felt it was kind of important that that we honor that. We honor those days. D-Day was the beginning. It went on and on and on and on. It's a hard-fought battle. That war continued on for a period of time after. What they were fighting, they believed to be then, in that period of time, the ultimate evil. And here we are now in World War III, whether you realize it or not. We are in World War III. We were always told that World War III wasn't going to be an Armageddon style, where it's nukes and everything else, because if you understand what the word Armageddon actually means, is a great reveal. We're in a battle for truth. We're in a battle for souls. Because this is as much a spiritual battle as it is any other. Whether you recognize that or not, that's always up to the common individual to decide that. But it is a truth. We are in a spiritual war. But we're also in an information war. And that's part of what we do. Information. We try to find a happy medium, and it's hard to do sometimes because of all the unpopular opinion of what we talk about, and the unpopular opinion, whether you're talking about the children, or you're talking about the networks, or you're talking about the trafficking, or you're talking about the political theater, if you're talking about even the theater of war. There's always some semblance of a popular opinion, but then there's also the not so popular opinion that we still try to give them the opportunity to have a voice. But when you're 100% anti everything that America stands for, then you really have no business being here. Go to one of those countries that you want to become like. Go live there. I'm so tired of people defending other countries. I think it's time that we just defend ourselves for a while. And it's, yeah. Take note of it. Take note of it. Got some weird weather going on today. So I was dealing with sheet metal flying around here this morning. And they had to get all that secured before one of the animals got seriously hurt, because they were full length sheet metal for pole barn, full strips just flying around. As a matter of fact, there goes the wind again, and there goes the door. So it'll be quiet for a minute until the wind kicks the door back the other way. Should probably lock that into position. Yeah, we got some weird wind, and we've had an excessive amount of rain. So I was down clearing the big pump down there, clearing out everything out of the hole up there, and finished that up and came running back up. And that's when I started getting all this prepped up for today. So it's been a very, very busy morning for me. I hope your day is going well, but let's go ahead and check into the rest of the world and see how their day is doing. I did find that it was easier to play that song through X than it was for me to get it posted on YouTube or Facebook or any of them. I was having a hard time getting anything. I'm having a hard time getting anything uploaded right now. Really am. So Stephen Miller says local judge says it's illegal to restrict migration and that America actually belongs to 8 billion foreigners, not you or your family, and that no matter who you vote for, you will be dispossessed. If SCOTUS doesn't restrain these judges, the people will lose all faith in the courts. And we're at that point. So let's go here. CBS.
A federal judge in Rhode Island has struck down a series of Trump administration policies that were delaying the immigration process for hundreds of thousands of applicants. CBS News immigration correspondent Camilo Montoyo Galvez has more on the ruling.
A federal judge has blocked a Trump administration policy that had prevented officials from granting asylum, green cards, and other legal immigration benefits to many immigrants in the U.S. At the center of the court ruling is a series of policies enacted by the administration last year that have sharply restricted legal immigration. One of the policies had completely halted all legal immigration applications filed by citizens of 39 countries listed on President Trump's so-called travel ban. For months, most immigrants from countries like Cuba, Haiti, Iran, and Nigeria have not been able to get work permits, asylum, permanent U.S. residency, or American citizenship. The Trump administration says it enacted that pause on national security grounds after an Afghan man who was granted U.S. asylum allegedly shot 2 National Guard members in Washington, D.C. But Chief Judge John McConnell of the U.S. District Court in Rhode Island said the policies were driven instead by, quote, anti-immigrant sentiments, declaring them unlawful. The Department of Homeland Security has rejected that finding.
Yeah. So yeah, our courts are screwed. Yep. All right. McAvoy says, I'm in tears. World War II D-Day veteran returns to Omaha Beach in Normandy, France with an American flag. Yeah. 82 years ago. Crazy, huh? So now the leftists are stealing traffic barrels and using them to block ICE's main exit to Delaney Hall. They're also making use of pre-stacked bricks and toppling other barrels and using the sand to anchor their barricades. Meanwhile, the tires on ICE vans have been flattened. This is anarchy, and it kind of needs to stop.
And then he got.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad that I'm not there, because if I was, my dogs would need bones. Yeah. The White House put this up this morning. Patriots in control. Patriotic summer. Yep. And if we go here, we got start from beginning. Small sampling of proofs. Patriots in control. You are the news now. Yep. And I guess that would be a good time to bring up. Let's go here. I haven't been to this site in a long time. Yeah. So we know what they fought for in World War II. Yeah. Yeah. We're going to go to, we want to go to the old list. That's what we want. Come on. I'm telling you, my internet is, they're fucking with me because I haven't paid the bill yet. I'm only 4 days late. No, that's not it. Come on. Get to, dang nabbit. I hate it when it does that. This is so irritating. Let's go to, I hate that. See if this is the right one. What is going on?
Have you ever wondered why we go to war? Or why you never seem to be able to get out of debt? Why there is poverty, division, and crime? What if I told you there was a reason for it all? What if I told you it was done on purpose? What if I told you that those who were corrupting the world, poisoning our food, and igniting conflict were themselves about to be permanently eradicated from the earth? You might think that an idealistic fantasy. Well, let me tell you a story. We acknowledge there are criminals, of course. They rob your house, they steal your phone. They can murder you too if they think they can get away with it. We have all experienced criminals in one way or another. Criminals, as we know, are those who choose personal gain over the rights of others and have no regard for the law. But here's where you need to expand your thinking. Criminals can also succeed in business and politics and can be elected as our leaders. If a criminal became the president, imagine what they could achieve. They could use the full weight of their executive power to commit much larger crimes and ensure they and their friends were enriched to the fullest extent possible. A criminal president could create alliances with other criminal presidents and then collaborate on more global criminal activities. Anything goes. drug running, human trafficking, whatever makes the big bucks. The 20th century was turbulent with war, economic disaster, famines, and displacement. We have always accepted these things as just human nature, and simply the way the world works. Something inevitable, and due to the weaknesses of human nature that drive us to these actions. This is where we were all tragically wrong. You are not a criminal. I'm not a criminal. So how can we just assume that it is human nature that is driving all this pain and misery? What if it wasn't human nature at all, and as a result of something more deliberate? We were taught that capitalism was the cause of a massive rich-poor divide and the reason for poverty, which in turn is the reason for war, crime, and starvation. Others were taught that communism, a system of equal wealth across all people, was really to blame for the mess. But you see, folks, it is none of these things. It is not our nature to fight and be racist. It is not in our nature to rob from others. What you must learn is that it was the criminals all along. Yes, they got power. More power than a criminal should ever have. They rose to the top of media companies that control our news and entertainment. They ascended to the top of the banking system, also to the Oval Office, to Brussels, to the Vatican, to the Crown. They crept in quietly. They became leaders of agricultural companies who have control over our food supply. Also big pharmaceutical companies, the ones we trust to help us when we're sick. Nobody stopped them, and they just recruited more criminals to help them. First, they accumulated the world's wealth. They invented a system of money called central banking, which lends money to governments with interest, placing countries into eternal debt. People's wealth got less. Their wealth got more. Much more. When a criminal is already as rich as they can get, then protecting their ill-gotten gains becomes the priority. Angry citizens tired of being poor are a major obstacle and can revolt if they suffer enough. The criminals needed to prevent this. So they diverted attention to the last remaining competitor, the people of the world. You and me. We were not happy being ruled by criminals and having to work 3 jobs just to survive. They know we won't accept it. So they use their control of the media to set black against white, woman against man, young against old, Muslim against Christian. They convinced us we were the problem so that we would fight and destroy ourselves. To get it done faster, they attacked all aspects of humanity that make us strong. Like family, using their influence over culture, they popularized lifestyle choices that led to a surge in broken homes, lost youth, and substance abuse. I could talk all day about how else they deliberately weakened us, and it would turn your stomach. We were just trying to get on with living. So where are all the good guys? Good people just want to get married, have kids, make a living, and enjoy their liberty. Well, there were good guys. Many. One became the President of the United States in January 1961. He knew about these criminals and wanted them gone. He knew their intentions for us all, and he wanted to fight them. Sadly, he had no idea how powerful they had become. Reagan also had good intentions for the American people. He knew this criminal mafia controlled almost everything by the stage, including the powerful rogue intelligence agencies. His economic policies were promising, but the criminals needed a weak America to hold on to their power. Reagan was shown with a bullet that a growing U.S. economy and prosperous citizens were not what the criminals wanted. It was looking pretty grim for good people. Every time someone wanted to stand up and do the right thing, they got stopped. Were we ever to be freed? These criminals are also known as the Deep State, or Cabal, because of how they control things behind the scenes. Every president after Reagan was one of these Deep State criminals, and their empire got even stronger. With each bad president came new depths America and the world would sink. The world collapsed into darkness. Do you need me to tell you how? Destroyed factories, declining job numbers, sicker people, opioids, destruction of Iraq, Syria, and Yemen with pointless war, displacement of people into Europe, ISIS, terrorism, collapsed governments, poverty, and genocide. Total misery. Do you think that was inevitable? Hell no. Well, here is where things start to take a new turn. When the full picture comes to be known, it will forever be regarded as the greatest story ever told. Well, here is the top line. Some good people still held positions of power. They valued humanity and the rule of law. While the criminals discussed their game plan at the annual Bilderberg meetings, the good guys were making plans of their own. The information age was coming to change history forever. As the internet flooded into every home and appliances became smarter, and when people started carrying tracking devices, an opportunity to put an end to criminal control over the world was emerging. We became connected, trackable, and surveilled. But so did they. They became dependent, just like we did, on email, SMS, instant communication. It made crime much easier, but it also put them on a grid that, if accessed by the right people, would expose their crimes to the public and end their iron grip on us once and for all. In this new age of information, it was thought that the military should also have its own intelligence agency to focus on cybercrime and espionage. They called this the NSA, the National Security Agency. The relevance of the NSA in the story cannot be understated. Here we had every phone call, email, and text from every device stored and archived. Whether it be someone making a doctor's appointment or the deep state setting up a massive heroin purchase from the Taliban. In the right hands, it would be enough information to expose the entire sinister criminal plot to rob us blind and wipe us out. Hold that thought. Now I need to explain the plan. The good guys were devising a plan to reclaim the world from the cabal and return it to the people. It would involve alliances with multiple countries, since the criminals had global rat lines, trade, and other infrastructure in place that would need their cooperation. It came down to two choices for America. Launch a military coup to seize the government from whichever cabal puppet was in the White House at the time, or win legitimately, take control of the NSA, expose the criminals for what they are, and arrest them all. Obviously, the first option would be very troubling for the public. With people still preoccupied with cabal-engineered social issues, they would likely revolt and hurt themselves and others. No, it would have to be the latter. So they needed a candidate who could win, and who could win big. Many states like California had been so heavily inundated by criminals that even the voting machines were electronically set up to swing votes any which way. It would need to be a very decisive victory. Good patriots in the U.S. military and their global partners asked Trump to run for president so they could take back control of America legitimately without alarming the public. Trump was a good choice, obviously, because he overcame the voter fraud and won. But he was a patriot, and he was loved and admired by the public. He was not interested in joining the cabal, mainly because they hated America and he did not agree with them on that point. As soon as he showed interest in taking power, they activated their media assets to viciously turn on him. That's when we saw the sudden hatred emerge. Even when he won, the cabal still had no idea what he was a part of, and the sophisticated plan that was about to unfold against them. Shocked at their loss, they mobilized their full arsenal of intelligence, media, money, and technology to try and take back power. There were people at the top of the DOJ and FBI that put together a plan to frame Trump and have him impeached. This is where we come back to the NSA again. All messages were stored and could be used to expose this plot and prevent Trump's overthrow. An entire book will be written about the first 2 years of Trump's presidency. False flag terror attacks, downed planes, missile alerts, assassination attempts. Here's the point. The world is currently experiencing a dramatic covert war of biblical proportions. Literally the fight for Earth, between the forces of good and evil. I can't put it in simpler terms, but I can say it appears the good guys are winning. The cabal had complete control over North Korea. They hijacked the Kim dynasty, took them hostage, and worked to build up a nuclear arsenal to threaten the world. Kim Jong-un suddenly embracing peace was simply because the deep state were beaten and driven out. ISIS was also destroyed in the year following Trump's win. We are all starting to see the pattern now, that enough time has passed, that our biggest global concerns are starting to recede, and peace is returning. It is all evidence that the good guys are winning the war. But we are still in the middle. While a lot is improving, it still puzzles many that most of these known criminals are still free, especially the higher-ups like Hillary Clinton, the Bushes, and Obama. That is coming in the next chapter of the story. That's why we have Q. The good guys with control over the NSA began the Q intelligence dissemination program to invoke an online grassroots movement that came to be called the Great Awakening. It started on underground internet channels and then moved to the mainstream. Q has been a fun distraction for those who follow world events and desire truth, but it is about to begin a much more important and necessary phase, keeping the public informed when the deep state war breaks out onto the surface. By this, I mean high-profile arrests. Yes, folks, the criminals I'm referring to are famous politicians, actors, singers, CEOs, and celebrities. People who have earned our trust, respect, and admiration. They have done very bad things that are all fully known and documented, and they will be severely punished. Those of us who have followed Q since the beginning will be here to help you make sense of the coming events. We are among the first to realize that our petty partisan divisions are just trivial distractions, and we are all enslaved by a hidden enemy. We realize that the problem was never capitalism or socialism, Democrat or Republican, black or white, Muslim or Christian. We know it was just very powerful criminals who had too much power. Fellow slaves, it's time to buckle your seatbelt, recognize your true enemy, and embrace a new future that we all owe to the brave patriots who risked their lives to achieve this victory against the greatest force of evil the world has ever known. May God bless America.
That's how it all began, right? For many of us, that's how it all began. We know. We get it. So liberal members of the old Pentagon press corps had a conniption fit last week when he took Mrs. Hegseth to Singapore. So this week, our Secretary of the Department of War, he took his kids too. Yeah. American family is so bad.
Oh, don't you? You remember I told you last year it was the woke camp. We're doing it. Us, we're doing it. Yeah, we're doing it. I know. Yeah. I hope you see that we're doing it. We're doing that for you. I hope you see that. Get your kids? That's my kid. Yep. You remember this. Thank you, sir. Okay, I'm not.
Yeah. It's cool. He brought his kids to meet these guys, talk with them, ask questions, get to be kids, because when we were kids, we were curious about things too, right? Yeah. I think that's great. I got some more clips of him coming up that we'll get to. In the meantime, Eric Daughtry put this one up. Texas U.S. Senate candidate Ken Paxton just nailed it. Goes 100% in support of nuking the filibuster. Let's see what he's got to say. Here we go with Katie McEnany.
Message to your future colleagues.
Look, I understand why you want the filibuster, and you're in the minority. You want to protect against bad legislation. The problem is the Save America Act is so important to our country, and it's not going to pass if we have a filibuster. There's nothing more important to our country than saving the country from fraudulent voting. We have probably 25 states, mostly Democratic states, that don't have photo ID, that may be allowing non-citizens to vote, that have fraudulent mail-in ballot schemes. If we allow that, we are going to lose the country anyway, and it's going to be one-party control. So what good is the filibuster if we cannot protect our country from fraudulent voting? I don't see the point of protecting it at this point.
And what good is it when the only Democrat who would stand against nuking the filibuster is the guy you just spoke to, Senator John Fetterman? There's only one of them, I believe. I also want to ask you a message to your future colleagues.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's kind of interesting. She brings up that Fetterman's the only one who would be willing to stand up on the Democratic side to say, yeah, I think nuking the filibuster would be a great idea, because we do need to save our country.
82 years ago today, the fate of the free world hung in the balance. On Normandy's shores, tens of thousands of Americans joined Allied forces in the largest amphibious invasion in history, a moment now known as D-Day. These Allied forces advanced into chaos and certain danger with clarity of purpose and an iron resolve. Yet these were not men seeking glory. They were ordinary citizens called to duty, farmers, laborers, sons, and fathers, and many never came home. On that day, the tide of the Second World War began to turn, and the Nazi grip on Europe was broken by the unshakable spirit of free men willing to fight for civilization itself. Today, we remember those heroes with gratitude and reverence. May we remain worthy of the freedoms that they defended.
Yeah. That was
82 years ago today, the fate of the free world hung in the balance.
All right. A little bit more in regards to these protests going on, San Antonio here. Yep. It's just ridiculous. Yeah, here's our Secretary of War. Just coined 5 soldiers while visiting Santa Maria Iglesia.
Mr. Secretary. Action, sir. Give it up for these guys, please.
Yeah. So, and then more on the protests.
Hope you like it.
Stop here now! Right here.
Riot, you will be arrested. Pretty simple.
Hope you like it.
Yeah. Can't even tell if that's a boy or a girl, honestly. You just never know these days. It's like, yeah. John Solomon, Biden administration spying on President Trump exposed. Devin Nunes drops a bombshell, and we know wants to make sure you remember
I think when we get into 2022 and 23, we're going to find out that the Biden administration was spying on Donald Trump, not just to create a criminal case against him, but maybe to find out what his campaign was up to. It's going to feel like the plumbers and Nixon. In between that, there are all sorts of American citizens who still don't know today they were being surveilled by the FBI, though they had not created an iota of crime. They weren't guilty of anything. There is a massive...
But they were surveilled because they got a FISA warrant.
Or maybe not.
Or even maybe
I'm not convinced that all surveillance was done with a FISA warrant or a warrant. We raided the president's home. Let's think about what we've now learned. We raided the president's home. We went through his drawers and his son's room and his wife's wardrobe, even though the FBI said they didn't have probable cause. And afterwards, the story broke last week. Eric Garland's top advisor saying he probably had the right to keep those documents. Did we consider that before we raided his home? We know that was now not a righteous thing. Now, I think we're going to learn that they went to Mar-a-Lago for a reason that we're not ready for. They wanted to recover a document from Donald Trump that would help him prove that the Russia collusion case, and specifically Barack Obama and John Brennan's behavior in the Russia collusion, was wrong. And they wanted to get the document back so he couldn't use it in litigation. So those are all things that I think are on the horizon, going to come out in the next few months.
Yeah. Just a reminder, LT over at And We Know. Yep. The eyes of the world were upon them. Yep. Then we got Senator Rand Paul.
What we've got here is a failure to understand what's going on. We've been at it for 18 hours. There is no weaponization fund in this bill. Let me repeat, there is no weaponization fund in this bill. Ironically, the author of this amendment is the one creating a weaponization fund and directing it to pay his chosen group of people. This amendment is nothing more than a poison pill that would prevent us from doing what is at hand, and that is securing our border, enforcing our immigration laws. Democrats and some others refuse to vote for $1 for the border. Republicans have stepped up to do the job Democrats refuse to do. We cannot let them hijack this bill at the last moment with an unrelated issue.
Mr. President.
Senator from Louisiana.
Mr. President, this is germane to the bill. It's in the judiciary section. And by the way, it does not detract from our ability. And there is a fund out there that could be funded to use as an anti-weaponization fund. We should make the same ability, the same access to redress to the officers who protected us. I urge passage.
I want to make a point here real quick, okay? You guys are worried about a slush fund for, basically perpetrating a fraud on the American people. The American taxpayers who stood up for their rights in voting, okay? And for the theft of an election, okay? And, it seems kind of funny that there is a slush fund for you motherfuckers in Congress and the Senate to pay off your sexual fucking interests. Period. Full stop. You're going to pass that Save America Act, or you're going to get the fuck out of office, one or the other. I mean, it's that simple. President Trump says, very impressive, proud of you, President DJT. Rand Paul said there should never be a situation where any Republican who campaigned on POTUS's America First agenda turns around and rallies with Democrats to poison pill a straightforward bill funding ICE and Border Patrol. I shot down this unrelated amendment, and we got the full funding passed. Yeah.
Senator from Kentucky.
This amendment would kill the bill. The budgetary effects of the pending amendment are merely incidental to the non-budgetary components of the amendment. Therefore, I raise a point of order under Section 313B 1D of the Congressional Budget Act of 1974.
Yeah. Hey, Rand Paul, I say go fuck yourself. Yeah. June 6th, 1944, Supreme Headquarters, Allied Expeditionary Forces. Soldiers, sailors, and airmen of the Allied Expeditionary Force, you are about to embark upon the great crusade toward which we have striven these many months. The eyes of the world are upon you. The hopes and prayers of liberty-loving people everywhere march with you. In company with our brave allies and brothers in arms on other fronts, you will bring about the destruction of the German war machine, the elimination of Nazi tyranny over the oppressed people of Europe, and security for ourselves in a free world. Your task will not be an easy one. Your enemy is well-trained, well-equipped, and battle-hardened. He will fight savagely. But this is the year 1944. Much has happened since the Nazis' triumph of 1940 and 41. The United Nations have inflicted upon the Germans great defeats in open battle man to man. Our air offensive has seriously reduced their strength in the air and their capacity to wage war on the ground. Our home fronts have given us an overwhelming superiority in weapons and munitions of war and placed at our disposal great reserves of trained fighting men. The tide has turned. The free men of the world are watching together in victory. I have full confidence in your courage, devotion to duty, and skill in battle. We will accept nothing less than full victory. Good luck, and let us all beseech the blessing of Almighty God, this great and noble undertaking. Dwight D. Eisenhower. Yeah. Yeah. All right. And then here we go with Todd Blanche.
Individuals in Kansas and California that you found, and they were providing material support to ISIS. And the details are quite something. One said it was sick if his name was on a drone that would kill American service members. Another person said they always wanted to kill a female soldier by beheading. I wish I could kill 300 million Americans. These are bad guys, and now they're indicted.
Yes, this is a very disturbing case. You have young men, they're in their 20s, completely indoctrinated by terrorism and by terrorists, and actually spending money to actually follow through on these attacks. Like you just said, one wanted their name written on a drone to kill Americans. One fantasized about killing a female soldier by beheading her. And look, another great example of hardworking FBI agents and our federal prosecutors in California and Kansas and working together. And I'm glad we were able to interject here and stop these men. But it's a good reminder to the Americans that this fight is not over. There are still a lot of people that want to inject harm into this country and our citizens.
No doubt about it. And bringing it domestic.
Yep. So, yep, they're doing sweeps. They are doing sweeps, no doubt about it. And Debbie Dingell. Oh, Michigan Democrat, here you go.
You know, I don't appreciate being told we're not doing enough when I fucking voted on 2 war resolutions this week. And I'm going to tell you that people like me are standing up and saying what he's doing in Cuba is wrong. And I don't appreciate being attacked by people because Republicans are sitting on a resolution and speaking up and speaking out. November elections have consequences, and elect Democrats so you can actually stand up to them. That's what I'm going to tell you. I've been very vocal about what he's doing in Venezuela and Cuba. So you're fucking elected a Republican Congress in this state, help do it, and they won't bring it up. So don't go after Democrats that are speaking up and speaking out.
Shut up. That's all I can say to you, Debbie Dingell. Shut up. Shut up. We don't care what the Democratic Party has to say anymore, period. We really don't. Because it's always the same old bullshit. Cash Patel with Kayleigh McEnany. Here we go.
80% and identified or located 7,000 children, up by 144%. How did you do this?
Well, Kayleigh, as you know so well, and as you advocate so much for our youth, they're our most precious treasure. And we made it a priority to go after the villains and the terrorists and gangbangers that are targeting our kids. And what we did was we utilized intelligence-driven operations. We took 1,500 employees from the FBI in D.C. and put them in the field permanently, working with our state and local law enforcement partners. And we went after the worst of the worst. And those stats, while those stats are meaningful, and those stats are truly historic, just think about the 7,200 kids that we found that got to go home. Mm-hmm. Just think about the 3,400. Actually, when you take the numbers for this year, we're at 3,400 child predators and traffickers arrested. That's up 99% from the best year Biden ever had. That means kids are being protected at levels that are simply unheard of. And that means this FBI, here's another thing. We didn't just do the physical work on the streets. We went to the cyber community and we dismantled 3 million pedophile accounts off the Tor network where these predators prey on our children and think they can hide from this FBI. They can't. We are going to the ends of the earth and the cyber realm to make sure our most precious commodity, kids, are safeguarded. And the numbers speak for themselves because the FBI are putting kids first.
Yeah, I call them our diamonds. That's what they are. And I want to ask you about this. There was a hostage situation, actually two this week, and they were on opposite sides of the country. One was in Bakersfield, California. One was in Cincinnati, Ohio. How do you resolve that at the FBI? Two hostage situations across the country.
When we got into this administration, we built our central command and known structure and our tactical tier 1 element, our hostage rescue team, our HR team elements, so they can be on standby and ready to action at a moment's notice. And as you just indicated, in the middle of the night, a criminal took hostage 10 innocent Americans in Bakersfield, California, and strapped a bomb to himself inside an office school building. In the middle of the night, we launched a fixed-wing asset with a full Tier 1 element of tactical operators. They breached that compound later that evening, put down the perpetrator, and rescued all 10 civilians. Everyone was safeguarded. Simultaneously, or near simultaneously in Ohio, another individual had taken bomb-making material and 8 explosive devices next to an apartment building and threatened to blow up people in the surrounding area. Another tactical element of our hostage rescue team deployed. Because of the resources that this administration has given us, we're able to tactically and soundly go into these compounds and breach that apartment as well, apprehend that individual, make sure no devices went off, and safeguarded the immediate apartment complex, which could have caused death and harm to tens, if not dozens of people. And that is just an incredible testament to the entirety of the critical incident response group we have at the FBI, from our pilots to our tacticians to our tactical operators and our evidence technicians and our field agents on the ground. They came together in dozens overnight in the middle of the night to execute simultaneous operations. That's what America can expect. If you wish to.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. All right. ICE raid in South Carolina blows open a massive illegal alien identity fraud ring and hiring network, leading to nearly 50 arrests, criminal charges against managers running the operation. These jobs are for Americans, not illegals. And I showed you guys a clip of this yesterday when they went in on the raid, and they were bringing the guys out of the foundry there, or whatever it is.
2 managers arrested and dozens detained by ICE. The Attorney General's office says they were employees of the business behind me. This investigation, though, still ongoing.
If you're here illegally, I would encourage you not to get involved and commit additional crimes.
A warning from ICE representatives after a raid led to dozens detained at an Abbeville County business.
This is about going after something much larger. You know, a conspiracy of people around South Carolina to steal identities, to create fake social security cards, fake driver's license, fake immigration documents.
Multiple agencies, ICE and local law enforcement swarmed the Bernstein von Seelen Precision Casting Corporation on Carwellan Road for an operation they began investigating in 2024. Now, 48 people have been detained and 6 are facing grand jury indictments. 2 managers of the company are among those facing indictments in this operation. They stand accused of not verifying the legitimacy of IDs before hiring employees and allowing forged identity documents by those who investigators say are undocumented immigrants.
We can't have readily available false identification that's stealing the identity of real Americans just freely flowing throughout our economy. We had to address that. We had no choice, and that's why we did this so strongly.
Others who are facing indictments are those who the Attorney General says crafted fake documents. He called them document vendors who provided the papers for the accused immigrants to use. Indictments formed against the 4 others arrested include forgery and identity fraud. Representatives with ICE say the work is not yet done.
And so, yes, you're going to see a lot more of this.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot more of this. And for about 3 minutes and 48 seconds, you're going to see a lot more of this. I got to go faster. I'll be back.
Well, the news got loud
out and the world got strange. Everybody hollering, everybody complaining. But over on the live stream right about 8, a message starts flying that nobody hates. Brother Don jumps in with a grin so wide. Just be cool, flashing on the chat box side. He types real slow like a man with a plan. I think it's time for a safety meeting, man. Well, safety meeting. Safety meeting. Gather around, friends, let the good times begin. A little laughter, a little truth, a little fellowship rolling through. Brother Don smiling, Fred's making jokes. Hawks on the microphone visiting folks. We ain't running from life, we're just setting the tone at the safety meeting with the family at home. Now Brother Ganja Fred comes strolling in, sounding like he walked out of London again. Says, cheers, mates, hope you're all doing all right. I brought enough good vibes to last all night. He'll drop one-liner after one-liner fast. Half the chat laughing till they're crying at last. And every time Hawk starts getting too deep, Fred says, easy there, mate, don't wake the sheep. Well, safety meeting, safety meeting. Everybody gather when the signal gets sent. No anger, no drama, no fuss, no fight, just good-hearted folks on a Wednesday night. Brother Don steady, Fred's cracking wise. Hawk's got another crazy theory to analyze, and somehow by midnight we're all still gone down 20 rabbit holes and carrying on. Then Hawk fires up with his Mountain View. 26 shepherds making sure he's true. Talking faith, freedom, truth, and grace. With a white shepherd lying right by his place. He says, welcome friends, pull up a chair. Leave your worries and your burdens there. Tonight we're gonna laugh, learn, and see what kind of seed become tomorrow's trees. Brother Don says, brother, that's deep. Fred says, I still think you're waking sheep. The whole chat explodes with laughing emojis everywhere. Somebody's dog starts barking at the air. The moderator surrender, the timeline bends. Nobody remembers how the story begins, but everybody knows when the meeting is through. They spent the whole night hanging with good people and true. Final safety meeting, safety meeting. Here's to the friends we've never met. The kind that show up and never forget. To Brother Don and his just be cool. To Fred from across the pond breaking every rule. To Hawk on the mountain sowing mustard seeds, trying to remind folks what this whole world needs. A little laughter, a little faith, a little kindness, a little grace. And if you hear somebody calling for a safety meeting tonight, just pull up a chair and everything will be all right. Brother Don, you there? Just be cool. Fred? Cheers, mate. Hawk. Welcome home, friends. On safety meeting. The down.
Yeah. And yeah, it was perfect timing, wasn't it? But my clock always says 4:20, so yeah, that's what happens when you take the batteries out of it. Yeah, it stays at the time that you set it at. Yeah, it works. It works. Well, I mean, it sort of works. It's a working clock, except for I took the batteries out of it. And it's on standby. Yeah, it's on standby. We just smoked a bowl. What do you mean, pack a bowl? We just smoked one. Jeez, some of you people, I'm telling you, pushing it a little bit too far. Yeah, just saying. I'm just saying. All right. Eric Daughtry says, oh my God, a massive India H-1B visa fraud ring has just been busted. Nearly 90% of India's visa applications contain fraudulent information. Uh-oh. Are you meaning that we're going to have mom and pop American citizen gas stations again? That would be really cool. A local convenience store being a mom and pop style. You remember those? You guys remember those? Okay. You want to know what my favorite time to go out and eat was? Not when we went to Taco Bell or Taco Time or going to McDonald's or Burger King or anything else. My favorite time is when we went to the old school trolley car diners. You know which ones that you know what ones I'm talking about. The old school diners. Everything was cooked right in front of you. Sometimes they'd be delivering your food on roller skates if they're coming up to your car. Just saying. Just saying. Those were the days. That's when you could trust what you were eating. You could trust the ingredients. You can't trust nothing nowadays. Thanks, James. I appreciate it. I appreciate you letting me know that, James. Yeah, James Richardson. Yeah. Just saying. Yeah, there were quite a few of them. Actually, up until even into the 90s, there was a place in Connecticut, Groton, Connecticut, Norm's Country Lounge. I worked there for a while, taught country dancing there, and had a lot of fun there. Sang with a few bands there and stuff, and we had a great time. But they had a diner built off on the side of it, so whenever you finish a gig, you'd go right over and have your midnight breakfast, a little bit later than midnight, because generally they closed at between 1 and 2 in the morning, but I gave you time to get some coffee before you got on the road, and have a hash browns and some eggs or some whatever. I used to love to go in there and have a ribeye. Their ribeyes, morning or breakfast ribeyes, were really good. I mean, really good. Their home fries were good, but you had to, if you didn't want onions or anything like that, and you had to catch them while they were getting a prep in the kitchen, so that you weren't getting all that, because they cooked most of it down with onions and peppers and stuff like that. But great food, great atmosphere, great music all the time. Later on, it became more of a rock joint. I don't even know if they're still open or not. It's been since the 90s since I've been in Groton there, so I don't know. I'm not sure. But yeah, that was some of the best food. Oh, and they had a tomato salad or tomato soup that was to die for. Grilled cheese and tomato soup. Yeah. Just saying. Well, let's go here. Let's go to check out this.
The holders since 2015. Over 70% came from India and nearly 12% from China. And when you zoom in on this map you're looking at, you can see where most are being hired. The dark red spots show a high density of H-1B visa holders. And now we're learning more about the fraud within the program. One former official tells Newsweek that up to 90% of applications, 90% from India, contain fraudulent documents or involve unqualified applicants. And finance law enforcement in India claim it has uncovered a network of universities that produce fake degrees, which were possibly used to obtain these high-skilled H-1B visas, including one school which allegedly stole over 36,000 fake degrees, sold, I should say. It cost as little as $1,400 for one of those. And while these are supposed to be high-skilled employees, during almost all of Biden's time in office, 83% got junior or entry-level positions. And now Texas is taking action, cracking down on those abusing the program.
That's just Texas, though. We need to see this in every state. No ands, ifs, or buts about it. But concerned citizen says, meanwhile in New York City, yeah.
They're coming.
Yeah, bro, I'm going to call. Okay, Mamdani is in now. So
Yeah. That doesn't mean shit.
the cops
bro.
are going to come and whoop your ass
No.
and throw you in jail. No.
Keep you there all night.
No, you can't just
And then-
cancel an Uber ride with people in your
Bro,
thing, and
New
now
York-
we got to type the navigation to go back to where we got to go.
New York is ours now.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
whatever the brown people say goes now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that how it is?
That's exactly how it is.
So we're just going to be unethical now.
Yeah. You need from next month on, you need a fucking visa to come to Manhattan.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You have a
I'll
visa
work
now?
on my visa.
Yeah, get
Work
your
on
visa.
getting me to my fucking destination.
You got a visa on you?
I don't have a visa on me. I'm a U.S. citizen.
How many minutes is? Then get the fuck out of my Uber car.
Dude, don't you worry about how many minutes it's fucking going on. We need to move the car.
This is our city.
Okay.
You're not welcome here.
Okay,
Go back to
dude.
wherever the fuck you came from.
Yeah.
They're common.
Yeah, bro. I'm gonna call. Okay, Mamdani.
Yeah, that's going on in New York right now. Yep. Oh, the Shack. Oh my Lord. Yes, that's in Niantic. I know right where that is. Yep. That was a place. Yep. There was and then there was a train car. There was a train car in I think it was Deep River was where it was. That was really good. And then another one that was in Old Saybrook called Dock and Dine. That was a really good one too. They had some of the best seafood on the East Coast at that time. Boats from all around the world used to pull in there. I remember that it was lived right up the road, and used to sit out there and watch these big yachts pulling in. They'd pull up to the restaurant and get themselves all docked up and everything, and go in and eat, and people be like gawking at their boats and everything. I was one of the gawkers. There was absolutely no doubt in my mind to that, because I was fascinated with big boats like that. And it wasn't so much of the fancy dancy thing as how do you keep something that big afloat? You know, I hadn't yet experienced seeing something like a shipping container, vessel, or a oil hauler. I hadn't seen those yet. I was a kid. So to see them big fancy dancy boats was like me like thinking that I was like seeing a ship. It wasn't. It's a boat. It was a boat. Yeah. All right. Laura Trump and I can't remember her name.
The Department of Homeland Security with a firm warning after the Coast Guard intercepted an overcrowded boat carrying 240 Haitians near Turks and Caicos. The CBP commissioner said the boat was actually in danger of sinking. It had so many people on it. Look at it. Wow. DHS posted, quote, "Our borders are closed, whether by land or sea, and if you try to enter our nation illegally, we will hunt you down and find you." I mean, Laura, just look at what a flip of the switch potentially would do. Because this is political now. This is not for the well-being of the people on a ship that's nearly going down or a boat that's nearly going down. No, it's about politics.
Well, it's always been about politics, unfortunately, for the Democrats. I'd say we're so lucky to have a president who is putting America first, who is concerned about our citizens and ensuring that we are safe here at home. We know that the 4 years of the Biden-Harris administration were a disaster. We let so many people in this country unchecked. How many people on the terror watch list? How many people are now, part of gangs bringing illicit drugs in our country that they allowed in? This president wants to get them out, and he wants to keep them out. And those folks, by the way, the elected Democrat officials that are at that facility in Newark, New Jersey, Cheryl, Booker, and all the rest of them, they know the laws of the land. These are not Donald Trump's laws. They're the laws on the books in the United States of America. If you come here illegally, and especially if you are a criminal on top of that, you got to go.
You got to go. You got to go. It is that simple. So we were talking about restaurants. Nordic Lodge up there in Rhode Island was a really good one too. That was one of those all-you-could-eat seafood buffets. I think it was like around $140 per person. But you had hours of entertaining and food, and you can. And it was pretty much, it was an all-you-could-eat buffet. One of the incredible, yeah. It was called Nordic Lodge. I think that one's still open. And then, but I gotta say that my favorite restaurant of all time as a kid of going to was a place called Farrell's Ice Cream. And when we were in Detroit, that's where my Aunt Patty used to take us whenever she was in town. And she always showed up around my birthday. Yeah. All right. And then we got Awakened Outlaw says, why would Butler, PA Sheriff's Department be exchanging emails, plural, with the assassin before the day of the assassination attempt? Yeah. That's a good question. So, Judicial Watch out with a bombshell in their Thomas Crooks FOIA fight. Records from July 17th, 2024, FBI electronic communication indicate Butler Sheriff's Office exchanged 2 emails with Crooks prior to July 13th Trump assassination attempt. Nature of emails is redacted. Now, why would they redact that? Why would that? Yeah. So, just saying. Why? Tell me why. Yeah, here's a good one for you. Virginia Democrats' new gun ban is backfiring spectacularly.
Firearms takes effect on July 1st, and this is leading to a surge of gun sales in the Commonwealth.
All right, Chanley Painter joins us with all those details. Chanley, good morning.
Hey, good morning. So this legislation in Virginia was signed into law last month. It bans the future sale, manufacture, import, and transfer of semi-automatic rifles or pistols that have a magazine capacity of more than 15 rounds. So essentially starting July 1st, under the law, it will be a misdemeanor to buy, sell, transfer, or make an assault firearm. But get this, since the Democrat-led effort was introduced earlier this year, the number of background checks done for the purchase of a firearm went up drastically, according to the FBI. For example, in just the month of May alone, more than 75,000 background checks were conducted. That's more than double the amount from last year, where only some 37,000 were conducted in May of 2025. In a statement after she signed the law, Virginia Governor Abigail Spanberger wrote this, quote, "Firearms designed to inflict maximum casualties do not belong on our streets. We are taking this step to protect families and support the law enforcement officers who work every day to keep our communities safe." Well, as you may guess, many gun rights advocates and gun shop owners are.
Yeah. I haven't had a pizza in a couple of weeks, Devin. Can't afford it right now. Got too many bills to get paid first. Those have to get taken care of, or else I won't be with you. One or the other. Pete Hegseth, here we go.
America will lead, and we must. But capable allies must be right there with us, shoulder to shoulder, in the breach, when it matters. In the years since these beaches, much of the West, in some places, in some quarters, and in some capitals, grew comfortable, we forgot that freedom is not free. We forgot that peace is not wished into being. It is bought with purpose, with honor, and with strength. The men who landed on these beaches knew this. The question we ask ourselves is, do we? It's past time we remember what they knew. Their legacy demands far more than quiet reflection. It requires our active vigilance. Sadly, today, different European beaches are stormed by different dangerous ideologies. beaches in Spain, in Italy, in Greece, and Bulgaria. Boats and men arrive. When will European capitals do something about that invasion? Or is it too late? I pray not, and I believe not. The men who fought and died here restored freedom to Europe. That freedom must be maintained by this generation of leaders and warfighters, or what they fought for was merely temporary. As our great president Ronald Reagan once said, freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. You don't pass it to the next generation in the bloodstream. It must be defended by each and every generation. We stand by our allies, and we expect our allies capable and ready to stand alongside us. The heroes of 1944 did that, and may we.
Yeah, may we. May we. All right. Already covered that one. Let's see. And then we got this one.
For Hunter Biden, back in the news where the DOJ now argues a criminal oligarch paid off the first son to try and influence U.S. policy while President Biden was serving as VP. Some new documents out there, and Chad Pergram's seen them. He is live on Capitol Hill to take us through this story. What now in the chapter of Hunter Biden? Chad?
Bill, good morning. It's possible this could be the closest anyone has come to showing a transfer of money from overseas in exchange for potential influence over U.S. policy with Hunter Biden. Now, we've heard about Hunter Biden's ties to the Ukrainian energy firm Burisma. House investigators have probed that for months. But how about potential links to Romania? Now, prosecutors in Hunter Biden's tax case say he worked for Gabriel Popoviciu. He's a Romanian business magnate. Now, the allegation is that Hunter Biden and his business colleagues took $3 million in payments. Popoviciu faces a criminal investigation in Romania over a land deal. Special counsel David Weiss makes that very case in his filing in California. Weiss alleges they structured the deal for Hunter so it, quote, concealed the true nature of the work he was performing. Now, prosecutors say there were concerns about ramifications for President Biden. Popoviciu is expected to testify at Hunter Biden's tax evasion trial in Los Angeles that starts September 5th. He's charged with failing to pay $1.4 million in taxes over a 4-year period. The House's impeachment inquiry remains open. Republicans claim Hunter Biden sold his father as the brand and used the president for access. Bill?
Yeah. All right, CENTCOM. All right, U.S. Central Command put this
for Hunter Biden back in the news with a
moments ago. CENTCOM forces shot down 4 Iranian one-way attack drones that were launched towards the Strait of Hormuz. The attack drones posed an immediate threat to regional maritime traffic. U.S. forces subsequently struck Iranian coastal surveillance radar sites in Garuk and on Qasem Island to defend against further attacks. American forces remained vigilant and postured to respond to unjustified Iranian aggression in self-defense. Yep. And this is just a gentle reminder that Chinese spy Christine Fang, also known as Fang Fang, the Bang Bang girl of Eric Swalwell, worked for Ro Khanna's 2014 congressional campaign. That's why he needs tampons. This is why Ro has never commented publicly on the matter and why he opposes the FBI releasing the entirety of the Fang Fang files. He's all over them. Yeah. So Ro Khanna has been a traitor for a long time. Committed treasonous acts. Yeah. So there needs to be a federal audit into California elections. This is how Democrats steal elections in California. An election worker is seen running through the same huge stack of ballots 3 different times. The same batch is ran, taken out, ran again and again and again. Election fraud expert and investigator Joe Hoft even confirmed that when this happened in Orange County, the real shocker of this entire episode caught on video is that this all occurred after Orange County received a bomb threat and before the workers were removed from the ballot counting facility. This happened right before the bomb threat was called in, meaning they were rigging the election, then staged an incident to draw attention away, shift focus, and cover it up. Now look at what's happening in California this election. Democrats need a week to count, and wouldn't you know it, Democrats keep rising, getting closer and closer to removing Spencer Pratt and Steve Hilton. They already surpassed Chad Bianco when the polls said it would likely be 2 Republican leaders advancing. California elections are all fake. They're all fraud. We all know it. Federal audit of California needed. This isn't even old. This is January 2025, meaning Democrats are definitely using techniques like this right now. So this video was shot in 2025, and you can see what they do. Yep. Thank you, Joe Hoff, for exposing that. We appreciate that very much. Yes, thank you. Representative Harriet Hagman, here we go.
It turned into a slush fund primarily for environmental NGOs to sue over every delisting of a species, regardless of whether that species was actually recovered. Every single timber sale in our national forests, these environmental NGOs would sue. And then when you have favorable administrations like the Clinton administration, the Obama or the Biden administrations, they do what's called sue and settle. So they have friendly lawsuits from these organizations. They turn around, they settle them, and then they pay them massive amounts of money in attorney's fees and costs. So Earth Justice, Sierra Club, Wilderness Society, NRDC, American Heritage Forest Association, World Wildlife Fund. I can go on and on and on and on. Many of these organizations that are very anti-American, many of these organizations have been funded by federal taxpayer dollars. So in the Natural Resource Committee, we have been attempting to expose this and show how the EAJA has been abused and that we need to be doing fundamental reform.
Yep. Like kicking the world out. Yeah. So, Alec Lay says, never forget, Obama spent $34 million of your taxpayer dollars renovating the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool. No media meltdowns. It took 2 years to complete. Here are some of the reactions when it reopened.
Being just cleaned and opened up a month ago. Looks like nothing was done. It's real nasty.
The pool was closed for almost 2 years and underwent a $34 million renovation project.
It'd be nice if it was clearer water so that one could reflect without seeing the algae.
The first thought was, oh, that's kind of nasty.
Being just cleaned and
Yeah, that was in 2012. 38 million. 38 million. Yeah. So TikTok says every single Democrat just voted against $100 million to fund operations for child exploitation investigations and save children from sex trafficking. Yeah. 47 of them. Yep. All right. And then we got Representative Clay Fuller.
I will be introducing an article of impeachment against Judge Eleanor Ross, a federal district court judge in the Northern District of Georgia for high crimes and misdemeanors. And I want to say a special thank you to Chairman Jim Jordan and his team for his help and putting this article of impeachment together. So Judge Ross was engaged in an extramarital affair with a high-ranking member officer of the Atlanta Police Department. But it wasn't just that she was engaged in an extramarital affair, an adulterous affair, which is illegal under the Georgia State Code, but also she was engaged in this extramarital affair in her chambers in a federal courthouse within hearing of her own employees and clerks. Judge Ross has no business on being on the federal bench. She has shown that she doesn't have the ethical conduct or behavior to continue serving as a federal judge, and that is why we have offered and introduced this article of impeachment. I will be introduced.
Yep, and they did. They introduced it. I believe it was last night. Last night before they went home for the night. It was introduced. Whether there was any reactionary to it yet, I haven't seen any response to that yet. It'll probably come around on Monday or Tuesday. We'll probably see something in regards to that. So Donald Trump says the great reflecting pool that stretches between the Lincoln Memorial and the Washington Monument just opened to rave reviews. But maliciously or not, some say, like the Washington Post, it was a paint job. This was not a paint job. This was a highly sophisticated material, industrial strength, and could last up to 100 years. Applied by very talented people, many whom came from the great state of Oklahoma, where I won 77 out of 77 counties. 3 times. The only president to ever do so. The material is thick, strong, flexible, and has natural and beautiful color. The dark blue of the American flag, President Donald J. Trump. Yeah. And then Steve Holman had this to say. And I think that he makes a very valid point here that a lot of people need to pay attention to.
I went through the facility. I stand by the facility. Again, it's not a Hilton. This is not a Grand Hilton. It's a detention center. And I've been in a lot of jails, and I've been in 2 state prisons. I wish they would go to their own state prison, look at that, then come to the Delaney Hall, get something to compare it to. Because I think they'll understand that detention is not a luxury. Detention, and they say they want to shut down the facility, they want us to release detainees. You know, when I looked at the files, you know, a lot of people in that facility are mandatory detention by federal statute. We couldn't release them if we wanted to, because there's certain people, whether they're expedited removals, whether it's certain criminal, whether it's final order cases, by law, we have to detain them. And here's what they're not talking about. You want to shut down the facility? Then every illegal alien we arrest in that state will fly to Texas, will fly to Arizona, detain them there, because we're going to keep arresting people. We're going to keep detaining people. We're going to keep removing people. If I can't detain them in that city where they're close to their families, then we'll have to move them someplace else. How does that benefit the migrant community? I mean, you're not going to shut down ICE enforcement. You're certainly not going to abolish ICE. You're not going to stop us from doing our job. President Trump's in the Oval Office. He's there mainly because of what the Biden administration did to the border. Where were all these congressional representatives and politicians in 4 years open border? How come they didn't take Secretary Mayorkas on? How come they didn't take the Biden administration on for opening border? Over 10 million people flow to our border, many criminals, many sex offenders, 2.1 million gotaways. Where do they come from? Who are they? How many of them are terrorists? How many of them are criminals? They didn't say a word about what happened the last 4 years. And the reason ICE is out there arresting people right now, because we're responding to historic illegal immigration crisis that they made, that they created on purpose. So a massive historic illegal alien crisis, how to respond to that? to massive deportation because most of these people should never have been released in the country.
And Mr. Homan.
Yep. That's simple. Very simple. I'm just saying. And we're already at the end of my list. Yeah. We're at the end of my list already. Yeah, I guess I timed that about right because I do got a bunch of work that I got to get done. And while the weather is good enough to get anything done, I had rain. Now the sun's out, so it's kind of perfect timing for this to be done. But let's see. U.S. forces just intercepted the MT Davina in the Indian Ocean. New video released by Indo-Pacific Command shows American troops shutting down another vessel feeding material support to Iran. Trump's military is back on the offense. Yep. Another ship went in. So, and then, let's see. Iron. Let's see.
Fucking pushing people around, you fucking pigs. You like grabbing my chest? Yeah? You like fucking sexually assaulting me? What you got for me? What you got
Just moved him like he is a tank. Yeah. So, yeah. All right. So that's where we're going to leave it for today. Like I said, because I got a bunch of stuff that I've got to get done. I've got to. Tomorrow it's supposed to be really nasty rain. I put a call out yesterday for you guys in regards to donations. I need to get fuel and I need to get dog food. So anything helps at this juncture, it'd be appreciated. And I will see you guys again tomorrow sometime. I'm not sure exactly what time. I'm hoping to get a little bit earlier, but I don't know. Noon kind of worked out good today. I was able to get a whole lot done. So this morning, and I've, like I said, I've got even more to get to now. So I'm going to go get on that, get Ghost out of the kennel, let him run around while I'm working, and get him used to the farm. And so remember, God loves you, Jesus loves you, and I love you. And we'll see you again, hopefully tomorrow. All right. In the meantime,
woke up this morning to a world on fire. Everybody shouting, climbing walls. Fear on the TV, lies across the screen. Hard to know these days what anything means. But I hear my father's voice down in my soul. Stand up straight, don't let the darkness take control. Love your neighbor, hold the line, stay alive. Open up your eyes and let your spirit drive. Don't let the noise pull you under. Don't lose your heart in the thunder. Keep your head, keep your eyes on it, keep your eyes on the light. Still the love vibes in the love vibes. So get roll, get snails, let the world feel small. Keep your heart wide open. Keep your head on a swivel, but your soul on the rise. There's a whole lot of beauty still left in these eyes. Yeah, the world may shake, but we're not gonna break. We were born for more than survival. Little old lady waving from a porch swing. Kids on the sidewalk still learning to dream. Somebody praying in the middle of pain. Somebody dancing in the pouring rain. There's still good people helping strangers stand. Still working hard with calloused hands. Still holding family, still holding faith. Still finding hope. and stars. Oh, even when shadows fall, love is still the strongest thing of all. Keep your head on a swivel, don't lose your grace. Every scar tells a story, every soul has a place. And if somebody stumbles, you help them stand tall. That's the kind of strength that can heal us all. Keep your head on a swivel, keep your faith alive. There's still hope for tomorrow as long as we try. Yeah, the world may change, but love remains, and that's how we survive. Keep your head. Coffee steaming in my favorite cup, rooster crowing telling me to get up, morning fog drifting through the pine trees. Lord have mercy, life feels easy. 26 shepherds racing down the lane, acting like I never saw the sun again. Ghost leads a charge like a furry little king, chasing every butterfly with wings. Ain't got a yacht, ain't got a jet, but I got things I ain't forgot yet. Granddaddy purping, watching the sunrise, golden light painting heaven in my eyes. Mountain breeze and a heart set free, nothing in this world I'd rather see. Just an old man laughing at the day, thanking God he sent it my way. Life ain't perfect, but it's sure alright. Granddaddy purping, watching the sunrise. Old farm truck sitting where it always sat, needs a little work, but imagine that. Fence ain't straight and the barn leans west, but somehow all the crooked things fit best. Dogs bark back at the morning sky, like they're singing every cloud goodbye. And I swear the mountains smile at me when the sunlight spills across the trees. The world can argue all day long, out here the birds already wrote the song. Granddaddy purping, watching the sunrise, golden light painting heaven in my eyes. Mountain breeze and a heart set free, nothing in this world I'd rather see. Just an old man laughing at the day, thanking God he sent it my way. Life ain't perfect, but it's sure alright. Granddaddy purping, watching the sunrise. Maybe joy ain't something you can buy, maybe it lives beneath an Oregon sky. Maybe peace ain't hidden very far, maybe it's right where you already are. With a little faith, a little grace, and shepherd dogs all over the place. Granddaddy purping, watching the sunrise, every color looking like paradise. Coffee hot and the world's brand new, thanking God for every little view. Got mountains, dogs, and another sunrise. Lord, I must have won the grand prize. If heaven's got a front porch and this kind of light, I'm already getting a preview tonight. Yeah, the world can keep its rush and noise, I'll be right here enjoying the simple joys. Granddaddy purr and watching the sunrise.